People are calling this 2020 Great Conjunction the Christmas star, due to it happening relatively closely to Christmas. Connected to that, Johannes Kepler, back in the 1600s, estimated that a triple conjunction would have also happened around 7 BC, and perhaps was the Star of Bethlehem as referred to in the Bible. In fact, great conjunctions have been seen as a significant event throughout the ages, potentially as a good or bad omen. I have never before mentioned astrology on this channel, but just for fun, I decided to see what they think of this event, seeing as astrology is all about the position of planets in the sky. They see this great conjunction as a sign times will change drastically, due to Jupiter and Saturn having nothing in common, astrologically speaking. If there are going to be changes, let's hope that they will be for the better rather than for the worse, considering the rough 2020 we've already had.
Sequence activated. 3, 2, 1.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Ask him about the car, man.
Is this yours, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
Is that your car out front?
Is this your homework, Larry?
We know it's his fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, you little brat?
Are you new to crypto and looking to make some real money trading this market? Join my VIP trading group and get my trades and chart setups in real time, plus a ton of educational content. We've been killing it this year, and if you're trying to make some real money, we will help you reach your goals. There's a link to a PDF with membership information in the description below for more. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we are going to go over the trade that got stopped out that we talked about in yesterday's episode. The SEC is coming down on crypto. I guess they're going to sue Ripple. And you got European exchange Bitpanda being regulated in France. The regulation seems to be coming, guys. We're going to go over Bitcoin in this channel and see if we could get a pretty bearish move, considering there is some stuff going on right now with the DXY. We'll revisit our inverse correlation that we spoke about a couple weeks ago, and then we will talk about a new trade setup here and where we are expecting Bitcoin to fall to. All right, so let's talk about the trade that we missed yesterday. We were in this nice ascending triangle, and we did pick up the bounce here, and we actually fell asleep, and we got stopped out because we did have our stop loss right below this 1 fib retracement, but it wasn't a very large loss because we only risked a very small margin. Now, what's going on here? We need to take a look at the DXY to actually get an idea of what's going on. So if you remember our inverse correlation study that we talked about a few weeks ago, we said that for about every 1% move up, we get about a 10% move down out of Bitcoin and GBTC for that matter. And every 1% move down out of the DXY, we get about a 15% move to the upside out of Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at the DXY. Where is it at here? Here we go. So here's the DXY, and right now it looks to be in some sort of a falling wedge pattern, which is a pretty bullish reversal pattern. And it seems like the DXY may have already broken out of here. Now, whether it gets enough push to kind of meet the measured move of this falling wedge is another story, because we do have this again former support, now resistance right here, so we could get rejected right here, and that would leave the dollar only getting about a 1-to-1 move out of this bounce off the lower trend line, which would then send it back down. So a bearish confirmation retest of this GAN resistance would be great. There is also this fib extension. I think that's the 2618 from when it started to crash back in, what is this, late March. So yeah, I mean, we're really waiting for a bounce, and we want to know what the DXY is going to do, because as you can see, when we got this bounce off the lower trend line last night, that's when Bitcoin took its little tumble. So this is the channel that we are watching right now. You can see it's been pretty accurate, letting us know where Bitcoin's going to go. And every time the RSI, let's go to the 8 hour, actually, you can see this a little better. And every time we get obviously a top out of the RSI, we do get a small corrective move. We get one there, and we get one there, and of course we got one there and there. So we are looking to see just how far Bitcoin comes down, but this channel is pretty important right now. So one thing we are looking for, and if this happens, we could see a pretty strong correction out of Bitcoin. So if we take the measured move from this channel, so we go from the top down to where it started, that is actually a pretty hefty move to the downside. So if Bitcoin breaks the lower trend line of this channel, we could be looking for a move all the way down to the S2 and possibly the S3. That's all the way down at $7,700. Now, I really don't see that happening, but it is possible. Okay, so we are possibly on the verge of another market correction. So if we take a peek at the S&P 500, you can see that it's kind of coming to a peak of this rising wedge that it's in. So not only is there hella bearish divergence on this guy, it is in a fairly bearish reversal pattern. This is called a rising wedge, and they do typically signify a move coming to the downside. So this rising wedge here, and if we just take the measured move of this rising wedge, say it makes it all the way up here to the 1414, which is what I had predicted, and then we get the move out of there, that would take us down. Why is this on bars? Price range. That'll take us down about 14% on the S&P 500, which would be, would be fairly expected at this point, because it's just been going incredibly nuts ever since the massive sell-off about a year ago now. So we are looking for a correction out of the S&P 500, which would make sense if we do get the bounce out of the dollar that we are expecting from this falling wedge, and we would see that also reflect in the Bitcoin price. So where are we looking at the Bitcoin price going? Okay, well, let's take a look back at the dollar, and we are thinking that we could get anywhere from a 3.33% correction, and then or a 1.14% correction. Okay, so if we go back to the Bitcoin price and we say for every 1% move down, we get about a 15% move up out of Bitcoin, but for every 1% move up, we get about a 15 to 20% move down out of Bitcoin. So let's see just what a 20% move down from here would look like. So that would take us down pretty far. So if we do just get, a 20% move here, that would take us all the way down to $18,346, and that would effectively button up the CME gap that exists here. So having a look here at the CME futures chart, you can see what's going on here. It's a little bit easier to tell. We do appear to have a diamond top. So if we go ahead and draw our trend lines here, you can see we have this broadening structure that goes into a triangle. So this would be our triangle here. Okay. Let's go ahead and move that up there. So this would definitely be a bearish diamond top that we are seeing out of the DXY. Now, if we want to get a measured move out of this diamond top, we'll go from the top down here. Okay, and then from the point of breakout, that would take us all the way down to here, down to about 20K, which would make sense because I do see the 20K area being very, very strong support for Bitcoin now. So it really takes something violent like a market crash or a huge dump to see the Bitcoin price really fall down below 20K. And you can see we do have a diamond top forming here. So we are not in any trades at the moment. We are really waiting to see this price action give us some sort of hint as to what's going on. One thing we do need to pay attention to is the last CME trade is on the 24th, followed by the settlement date on the 28th of December. So we usually get some serious price action in between that range and usually right before the last trade date. So, you know, we are looking for a possible sell-off, and, you know, we could get a divergence from the dollar. So even if the dollar pumps, we could still see a rise in the Bitcoin price. It's going to be really exciting over these next few days to see just how Bitcoin reacts to a temporarily strengthening dollar. All right, so to close it out, I do want to talk about the Theta trade that we did discuss about 2 weeks ago on this channel. Actually, let's go ahead and just review it real quick. All right, so the Theta trade went at the last one for the day, Theta token. So Theta is, again, one of my favorite projects. Look how incredibly bullish this chart looks. This is the daily chart. We are in Theta, so we had our limit buy set here. We came down and barely met that, bounced off twice. This would be a neckline for a huge cup and handle. We came out, broke through. This would be the handle structure of the cup and handle. We're going to see some astronomical moves out of Theta. This might not even be the top. We might go well beyond that, but I have a like my main target here for Theta right at 346%, all the way up to 13,731 Satoshis. All right, so the Theta trade went really well. We took profit right here at this 2618 extension from the impulse move, and we are now just waiting for price to come back down and retest this neckline of this inverse head and shoulders that it did break out of, or double bottom. It could be either or, but you know, we got some pretty good movement out of Theta earlier today, so congrats if you did take that trade. I know some in the trading group did, and that's what we're waiting for there. So, all right, guys, that's about it for today. Last but not least, we will talk about here the grand conjunction. Just so happens that when this took place, we did see some, you know, downside action out of Bitcoin, but really this should give us some insight as to what is coming moving forward. Hopefully some good change. Hopefully things will start getting more fair for people, but in the meantime, you know, we're going to keep an eye on Bitcoin and see if we do get the bearish move out of this diamond top structure. Bitcoin has been breaking bearish patterns bullish, so it would not surprise me one bit if it does break this bullish. Again, we do have the CME last trade coming up on Friday or the 24th. I do believe that is Christmas Eve. And don't forget, you know, looking at Bitcoin dominance right now, it is in this falling broadening wedge structure. And it is so far crossing this upper trend line, which means we could see Bitcoin dominance skyrocket, which would not be good for altcoins. But, you know, if we do get Bitcoin dominance to kind of retest here and then come back into the pattern, we could see a pretty explosive altcoin season right around the corner. But our eyes are on the DXY. The DXY is going to tell us what we're going to do as far as trading goes over these next few days. We are looking for this bounce. Again, the 1% move to the upside could give us anywhere from a 15 to a 20% move to the downside out of Bitcoin. Well, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for stopping in and hanging out. I will see y'all tomorrow.